So I ordered from someone on TikTok. On TikTok, I will tag who I bought from, because I'll be posting this video on my other platforms, since I'll be selling these pieces for my business, because they seem to be going okay. I was hoping they'd be here before the fair ended this past week, but they got here today instead of last week when I was hoping they would. But you know, stuff happens. So now that I have it, I'll have it for the farmers market in town here, and anyone locally can meet up and sell it too, so that'll make it easier. So here's me as usual. I cut it open, don't look in it, just to make it a little faster to unbox. So here's my first peek. And trust me, because the tape's still on these, because I ordered 3 or 4 bundles, something like that. I ordered more specific pieces, since I know a couple people asked me for like specific kinds of crystals with like no shape in mind, so I could definitely smell the packaging before I opened the box, and after I opened it, that's all I smell. So I tried to be reasonable when I do price them myself, so, and I'm okay with bargaining too. Not bargaining, bartering, that's the word, sorry. I mentioned it to someone earlier, and I mean, I'm close with the word, but I'm okay with bartering, you know, especially if someone else has a business too, or, you know, something along those lines. And I'm okay with holding things for a couple days, depending on, if you just don't have the money at that moment, but you'll be getting money on, you know, on a certain day, you know, I'm okay with holding it, because I've done it for a couple people, or, you know, a couple hours if they just didn't have cash on hand, because they don't do card, for whatever reason, you know. So I do that all the time. And I don't like to cut the tape, because either I or my grandfather reuses the bubble wrap, because the packaging that comes with them, I do keep it to store it in the tote when I'm not doing the farmer's market, but also when they buy it, I rewrap it so that they have, you know, something, making sure it's okay. I had it, where is it? So that's why I am very careful with the tape on it, because I don't tape it back shut when someone buys a piece, just to make it easier to get things on the table, because I have so much stuff. Okay, the tape I will have to cut off. So I have my pocket knife out, just didn't think I was gonna need it to cut tape, but stuff happens. I think I got it all. I did not get it all. I'm gonna cut this so I can speed it up a little. They are not afraid to use tape. This is all the tape and just the what was on the crystals, like to keep them together and safe. That doesn't include all the tape on here, and they wrapped the living crazy out of it, just in case on certain platforms I get put down for swearing. So Yeah, they wrapped it, they taped the crap out of this. So, that was just from Christmas, not including the box. Okay, so now that I have all of them untaped, so I can actually get them out, start with this one. So these are two of the smaller towers that I got. I wasn't sure size-wise how they were. They wrapped them up with like a nice soft paper, toilet paper. I mean, it's soft, and if it works, it works. So I got a moss agate tower. Of course, I will take a video at the end so you can actually get a better view of what it all looks like. I mean, toilet paper works as long as whatever I have in there doesn't break, we're fine. And then I got a nice labradorite, shorter tower. And since those are probably smaller, I'll probably have them for like $5 or something. That seems reasonable to me. I'll be making labels for all of them after I'm done with this video and post it. And here's one of the slab pieces of also labradorite. Wow. That is rainbowy, flashy rainbows from both sides. Putting the toilet paper or whatever in the box for right now, and bubble wrap to the right so I can save it, so I can wrap them up when I'm not using them, or when I'm displaying them, I guess. And this is the first time I've also bought from them, so I haven't bought from them previously. So this is also, I'm gonna do this after the rest because there's a lot in here. Let me get to the rest of the statement pieces. Did I miss a piece of tape or something? Oh no, it's folded weird. Okay. Here's some more towers, I think, and other pieces. So, can't remember this one offhand, but it is a heart shape. Yeah, I don't know this one offhand, but we'll figure it out. Probably another $5. Again, I'm not gonna outrageously do it. And I think this is red jasper, off the top of my head. I'm gonna assume. So, trying to make my blanket look a little bit neater for when I take the video at the end of how they all look. Because I like to get the overall view of what they look like closer up. Since I'm videotaping from my phone and not an app. And here's a nice, I think that is jasper. This is a carnelian, I don't know if you want to call it flame point or tower. I'm kind of stuck in between. But that's a chunky piece. Chunky. It's a chunker. And then I got a nice bloodstone tower as well. I love bloodstone or dragon bloodstone. But and I think the difference between bloodstone and dragon bloodstone usually has green in it, whereas bloodstone usually doesn't, if I remember correctly. I don't know, I got pieces of both somewhere in my room amongst the rest of my crystals, which I might be selling some of because I have too many. I want to say fire quartz, but can't remember off the top of my head. There's another tower. I did get some towers just because I know people like them, because at least these ones are a little smaller, easier to hide, or just room-wise, space-wise, depending on what people are looking for. I don't know if you heard me when I was trying to unwrap that, but those are big pieces of bubble wrap. Works for me. And when I do sell them and I do try to wrap them up, I have like little paper bags I bought at one of the stores in town to put it in to hold it. Oh, this is a chunk, an extra chunk. Thin because it's saran wrapped with a foam backing to keep it upright, which it is moss agate. I almost am afraid to unwrap it, but you can't really get a good look at it till you unwrap it. Plus figuring out where to start. Because when you saran wrap it, it's really difficult. And at least if something, God forbid, happens to this, you know, even if it breaks, it won't look the same, but it still has purpose and you have more pieces. I mean, that's how I would see it, and it happened to me a couple times. Of course, when it was a hematite ring, can't wear it anymore, but at least I have pieces in case I want to use it in spell work, so I guess it works. No, use it like chips if you use chip crystals for like spells and stuff, so, or however you want to go about it. Jewelry too, if you do any of that. Get the foam off of it and the pieces that got stuck to it a little bit. Oh, that's a nice piece, and not bad size wise too. And there's a little rainbow flash in some of the white parts of it. Okay, now to the bigger bag that has all the smaller things. If they threw freebies in here, I don't remember offhand. I don't think they did, but if they did, fine by me. I don't care. I'm not gonna keep any of it because I have enough. Too much. Okay, here's a labradorite necklace. It's very pretty. It's perfectly shaped too, and with a nice flash as well. Hold that there. Here's a, gotta remember what the heck it is. I want to say labradorite, but there's no flash. If it is, I don't see it. Can't remember what this one is off the top of my head, but it's a very nice crescent. Very nice piece. And here's another labradorite piece. It's just like, almost like a palm stone, just more circular than oval. I mean, you could probably make a chonk necklace out of it. That would be really, really heavy, and you'd need like some thick wires to wrap it. But that's a solid piece. Like, the thing is thick. Sorry, I use chonk a lot. I don't know why, but it's better than other words people would use. And if I'm correct, this is another moss agate moon. It's a little bit different than the other one, size-wise and, you know, curve-wise, and also thickness. So you could make a necklace out of this if you wanted. Oh wait, it's labradorite. I see it very, very little bit from this direction. But probably wouldn't recommend making a necklace out of this unless you're experienced enough, but it'd be really heavy. And then I got another one of the similar as the moss agate one, as another moss agate. This one's more clear with a little bit of a druzy pocket, a tiny druzy pocket here. Sorry for my speech impediment on that. There's a little bit here, but it's not a lot, and a little here and on the other side. They're little ones, but this one's a little more flashy, only on the one side though. Okay, I got a flame point moss agate because I had a couple people wanting moss agate specifically, so I was trying to look for that on top of labradorite, but also getting some other things that I liked that would associate with the theme of my business as well. So here it is. It's very cute, small, and another little druzy pocket. Druzy. And there's one on the bottom, but it's very tiny. I'll keep the bags with them just to kind of help with separating them when someone decides to buy them. And here is a bloodstone palm stone. There's a little bit of shiny in there, little shine. Almost looks like a speck of pyrite, or maybe a few, but that could just be me. And I also have a bloodstone heart as well, though it's different than the one from earlier, also size-wise, thickness. This you could make it out of a necklace. Again, it'd be a little heavy, not as heavy as some of the other like moons, but still heavy. And then if I'm correct, this is fluorite mushroom. That you could definitely make out of a necklace. It's not too heavy. And then I got some smaller pieces of a mixture of carnelian and actually, take that back. I think, yeah, this is fluorite. And then I probably got some green aventurine and fluorite mixed in here with the carnelian, because I could tell the orange ones are carnelian off the top of my head, and then probably a mix of fluorite and green aventurine in here, which I will again show at the end of the video. And then I got some bracelets also. There are 4, and one's more like the chip kind of pieces. I think it's bloodstone, if not carnelian, or both. It's harder to tell off the top of your head unless you know who did it, or you know, was told down the line. I can never say it correctly. I know it starts with an R, but I have one of these pieces here as well. It's like rind something. Someone in the comments somewhere will probably spell it correctly, because I know I won't without autocorrect. And I think this is, I want to say moss agate too, but I could be wrong. It's very similar. No. Could be moss agate. It's a little hard to tell because could be labradorite. It's kind of hard to tell unless I have someone else's eye that knows, can easily tell that kind of stuff. And then this is a moss. Let me double check. I would assume moss agate. Yep, moss agate. I can tell by at least one of the couple beads that are a little bit more easier to tell. And since now I have unboxed it all, and they are genuine because I could feel by temperature alone enough, on top of vibrations, not as hefty as the Moldavite that I unboxed. Trust me, because I was sweating in that with AC on. This, thank gosh, the vibrations aren't high because I've done enough of sweating for the week at the fair. So I will show at the end what everything looks like a lot up close with flashlight, especially with the labradorite, since they're very flashy. And on some of the moss agate that have the little druzy pockets. So this is the one I wasn't sure about. I want to say, you know, red jasper, could be petrified wood. It's hard to say. I want to say probably red jasper off the top of my head, just based on how it looks. That one I can't remember off the top of my head. I know I have one piece similar like it in my own collection. Here's the towers. And got to get that flash in there. And that's just one side. Little white pieces on the moss agate. That one I'm not as sure about. Again, I want to say sunstone maybe, possibly, or fire quartz maybe. The bloodstone, and then the carnelian, the flash on that. And then here's the big slab of moss agate. There's a little sticky stuff right there. Okay, here's that labradorite necklace. You can see a little bit on the one side and a little bit more on the other. And then here's the mystery crystal that yeah, right there. There's the labradorite. As soon as I can get it to focus while I flash. There we go. You can see it at an angle. Still nice as soon as you can see it though. I think it might be like black labradorite or something. Not familiar with the differences between other labradorites. But there's that. There's the flame point as soon as I can get it to focus. There's the bottom, and there's the little pocket I was talking about. And I got small hands for measurement too. And then there's the nice piece, there's the nice little pocket. There's none on the other side, but still nice. I have it on the cinematic so it gets a better view without, you know. And then there's one right here. Sorry, it keeps unfocusing and then refocusing. But there's that one. There's the fluorite mushroom. As soon as it again wants to focus. There's the bloodstone heart. And the palm bloodstone. You can kind of see a little bit of the sparkly that I was talking about. Here's what I think is labradorite. I just don't often see labradorite bracelets to know offhand. But based on the collection, since I got quite a few of them. And then the one I can never pronounce that starts with like Rhine something. And then the either carnelian or sunstone or a mix of the two. Maybe even calcite. Orange calcite more specifically. And the moss agate bracelet. And then just some tumbles. There's like an egg tumble of carnelian in here. 2 carnelian pieces, and then some green aventurine and possibly some fluorite in there. So, and that is all I got. Very nice. Can't wait to sell them. So on this one specifically, I did a little bit of research on Google, and it's actually Unakite. I got it mixed up for some reason. Though I will look at the heart one to see what that one is in a moment. Okay, thanks to Google again. It's pink amethyst. I don't have it. I've had maybe one of these pink amethysts before, so I don't know it enough or seen it enough to recognize it offhand. So at least that's good. So yep, that was all of them now that I have most names. Though this one's still a tiebreaker because now orange and red aventurine are now mixed in the guesses of what it is, unless the business has a better idea if they decide to comment on TikTok. So hopefully, if not, it's okay. If they do, I'll comment on the other videos that I will be posting. So have a great day, guys.